After years of waiting, we finally got to return to the Sinnoh region in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And honestly, Sinnoh is one of the most iconic regions in Pokemon history, and the anime plays a huge part in that. In this video, I'm only using Pokemon that Ash used during his journey through Sinnoh so that we can answer the question, can Ash's Sinnoh team beat Brilliant Diamond? The game starts, and we kick the game off with Pikachu and Aipom, just like Ash did when he first arrived in the Sinnoh region. Then we immediately add Starly to our team, and we can also add Torterra to our team for a total of 4 Pokemon. We arrive in Gible City where we can take on some battles in the trainer school, and honestly, early game Pikachu was so strong, bro. It's actually kind of insane. Then we give our rival Barry the town map and secure the Pokédex. Then we head to Route 203, and of course Barry wants to battle, but unfortunately for Barry, his only 2 Pokemon, Piplup and Starly, are weak to electric, so Pikachu destroys his whole team with 2 Thunderbolts. We head through Ortberg Gate next, where we see the hidden move Rock Smash, and now we arrive in Ortberg City for our first gym battle. But first, we gotta go to the Ortberg Mine, and it's here we meet the Rock-type gym leader Roark. For this gym battle, Ash used Pikachu, Aipom, and of course the GOAT Turtwig. So we push Starly in the box and head inside the gym. The gym battle against gym leader Roark starts, and he leads to Geodude while I unfortunately lead with Aipom. I try to be like the anime and go for a focus punch, but Geodude goes for a rollout, and Aipom lost all his focus. And Aipom's Swift is absolutely no damage to Geodude. As a last-ditch effort, I threw out double team, hoping to miss rollout, but no such luck. Aipom gets destroyed in this battle. I bring in Turtwig next, and he's able to take care of Geodude with Razor Leaf. Then Roark brings in Onix next and goes for a Stealth Rock. Turtwig does max damage with a critical hit Razor Leaf, but Onix is able to hold on with his 30 ability. Roark tries to heal Onix, but second Razor Leaf is all it takes to knock it out. Roark then brings in his last Pokemon, his Ace Cranidos. Turtwig takes a headbutt, and we're put into overgrowth range, but even still, Razor Leaf is enough to knock out Cranidos. And then second headbutt finishes out Turtwig, but he put in a lot of work. And now it's all up to Pikachu. And just for the style points, we go for the Volt Tackle, and of course it destroys Cranidos, and Gym Leader Roark is defeated. That's our first Sinnoh gym badge down, 7 more to go. We head back to Gible City where we have our very first encounter with Team Galactic. We battle Team Galactic alongside Dawn, and this time Aipom actually puts in work in a battle. And thanks to Aipom, we defeat Team Galactic with ease. We reach Floroma Town next, and there's no gym here, but there's still lots to do. First, Team Galactic has kidnapped a poor little girl's dad, and they're forcing to work for them in a place called the Valley Windworks. We find a grunt in the front door and battle against him with Starly. And even though we defeat the Team Galactic grunt, he still ends up locking himself out of the Valley Windworks. Like, what was the point even battling him? Then we head north to the Floroma Meadows where we find Team Galactic again, and we again use Starly to completely destroy them, and after winning the battle, Starly evolves into Ravia, marking our very first evolution of the playthrough. We obtain the Works Key, and now we can go to the Windworks to take on Team Galactic. Then we meet the adorable chibi Commander Mars. And look at how cute she is, little baby Commander Mars. The battle against Commander Mars starts. She leaves a Zubat while leading with Pikachu, and Pikachu destroys Zubat with 1 Thunderbolt. Perugly comes in next, and Perugly does huge damage to Pikachu with Fake Out, and we do get his static to go off, but it doesn't really matter because next turn Pikachu goes down to a single scratch. I again try to use Aipom. I try to charge up a Focus Punch, but Perugly breaks through paralysis and does huge damage to Aipom with Scratch. All we need is just 1 paralysis to nuke this cat with Focus Punch, but it's simply just not working out, and Aipom gets by without dealing any damage to Perugly. We bring in Staravia, and I forgot that Staravia now has the ability to Intimidate after evolving from Starly. So we go into Turtwig and then swap right back into Staravia for another round of Intimidate to weaken this cat even further. Staravia does huge damage with Wing Attack and completely devours Perugly's Scratch. Then Staravia finishes out Perugly and Commander Mars is defeated. Now we can head to Route 205 next until we reach Eternal Forest. It's here that we meet a girl named Cheryl, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Eternal Forest is one of my favorite parts of playing through any of the Sinnoh games. We arrive in Eterna City next, and for this gym battle, Ash used Staravia, Turtwig, and Aipom. We put Pikachu in the box and head inside the gym. The battle against Gym Leader Gardenia starts, which leads to Cherubi. We lead Turtwig, and he does some great damage to Cherubi, but for some reason, this thing is packing Dazzling Gleam, but Turtwig still stomachs it. Then we bring in Staravia, and Staravia actually does a good amount of damage on Cherubi's Dazzling Gleam, but a Wing Attack is all it takes to knock those cherries out. Gardenia brings in her Turtwig next, and we bring in Ash for the mirror match, but hers has the moves Reflect and Work Up. Yeah, bro, her Turtwig destroyed mine. We bring Staravia back in, who takes out Turtwig with Wing Attack, and honestly, bro, Staravia has been carrying this arc. Gardenia brings in her Ace Roserade. I tried to use Aipom, but he stands 0 chance and gets destroyed by Petal Blizzard. Roserade then does massive damage to Staravia with Grass Knot, and Staravia does over half a Wing Attack, but Roserade is holding a Citrus Berry and heals the damage off. Staravia just barely lives the Grass Knot on 3 HP and takes down Roserade with Wing Attack. Gardenia is defeated. We earn our second gym badge, only 6 badges left. Then we meet some random trainer, not really sure who she is, but she gives us the HM for cut. Now we can head inside the Galactic building. And now that we've beaten Gym Leader Gardenia, we can add Chimchar to our team. And having Pikachu with Thunderbolt and Chimchar with Flamethrower makes the early game an absolute cakewalk, bro. We tear through the Galactic building and start the battle against Commander Jupiter. She leads Zubat, who of course gets obliterated by Pikachu. Then her ace Skuntank comes in next. And Pikachu lands a huge huge Volt Tackle and just barely misses the KO. Skuntank then eats its berry, and Skuntank knocks out Pikachu with Flamethrower. We bring in Turtwig again, ends up eating one Flamethrower from Skuntank, but he has like no damage in return. Like you can barely see its bar even moving. Then Turtwig is taken down by Skuntank's next Flamethrower. We bring in Staravia next to get the Intimidate off on Skuntank, and Staravia takes down Skuntank with Wing Attack. I'm telling you, bro, this bird's been carrying so far. Now that we've beaten Team Galactic, we can get a bike from the bicycle shop and head down Cycling Road. Then we head to Route 207, enter Mount Coronet, where we have our very first encounter with little baby Chibi Syrus, but he's not as cute as Chibi Mar. Then we get rid of Apom and add Buizel to our team. Then we arrive at Hearthome City. Now we can also add Gliscor to our team for a team of 6. There's not really much we can do at Hearthome City yet, since we don't have enough badges to fight Gym Leader Fantina. So instead, we fight Barry, who for some reason tells us Starly. Pikachu one-shots Starly with Thunderbolt, one-shots Primfluff, one-shots Roselia, and one-shots Ponyta. Barry, you gotta off your mods, man. We head through both Laceon Town and Route 215 until we reach Veilstone City. Rat's gym battle against Maylene, he used Staravia, Chimchar, and Buizel, so we box the rest of the team. The battle against Fighting-type Gym Leader Maylene starts and jumps in Meditite while leads Staravia. But Meditite somehow takes Staravia's Wing Attack and goes for a Reflect. Then out of nowhere, Meditite randomly outspeeds Staravia and goes for a Flash, lower our accuracy. And to make things worse, I misclicked and used Whirlwind to force out Meditite and bring in Machoke. Staravia still does over half a Wing Attack to Machoke, but Lone Sleep does huge damage to Staravia and lowers our speed. Then Staravia misses Wing Attack thanks to that jackass Meditite's Flash, and Staravia gets taken down by Machoke. We bring in Chimchar, he thankfully takes down Machoke with Flame Wheel, because that could have been bad. Meditite comes back in, and Chimchar just barely misses the knockout with Flamethrower, and Meditite actually almost one-shots Chimchar with Drain Punch and heals off all the damage. But now we're putting the Blaze, and he can knock out Meditite with Flame Wheel. Maylene's ace Lucario comes in next, and Lucario destroys Chimchar with Drain Punch. And now it's all up to Buizel, and Buizel actually does some good damage to Lucario, but Lucario's Drain Punch leaves Buizel out 1 HP, and Lucario heals all the damage off. Then Lucario finishes Buizel out with Metal Claw, and we lose the gym battle against Maylene. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, bro. Like, I don't know what I should change to beat this fighting type witch. I'm just gonna go right back and do it again. Attempt number 2 starts, and this time I lead Chimchar instead of Staravia. And Chimchar completely nukes Meditite with Flamethrower. It's definitely the correct lead. Machoke comes in next, and we bring us Staravia. We get the Intimidate on Machoke, but this guy is packing Rock Tomb and does magic damage to Staravia and lowers our speed. So we bring in Buizel, who takes the Rock Tomb pretty well, and does over half to Machoke. Buizel also takes Machoke's Bulldoze, and Buizel will take Machoke down. Then comes that Demon Lucario. And this time, Staravia intimidates Lucario, but Staravia is still taken down by Lucario's Drain Punch. So we bring in Chimchar, and Lucario chokes and goes for a Screech, but somehow our Flamethrower couldn't take Lucario down, lifted like 1 HP. So now we're pretty much doomed. I have no idea how to win this now. But Maylene heals Lucario back to full with a Hyper Potion, but again, we missed the KO with Flamethrower. Then Lucario one-shots Chimchar with a critical hit Drain Punch. We bring in our last Pokemon Buizel, who gets taken out by Lucario's Drain Punch, and we once again have lost to Gym Leader Maylene's Lucario. Now for round 3, our 3rd attempt. Just like round 2 is Meditite against Chimchar, and Chimchar once again completely nukes Meditite. Machoke comes in as popping this Staravia for the Intimidate, but it worked out even better because Machoke went for a Bulldoze, so we got Staravia even free. Wing Attack does half to Machoke, and Staravia barely holds on after a Rock Tomb. Then one more Wing Attack is able to take down Machoke. That Demon Lucario comes in and knocks out Staravia with Drain Punch. So we bring in Chimchar and go for the Flamethrower, and this time for some reason Flamethrower actually gets the instant knockout of Maylene's Lucario. That's 3 matches down, 5 to go. Now we can head through Route 214 so we reach Pastoria City. For this gym battle, Ash used Pikachu, Turtwig, and Buizel. The battle against Water-type Gym Leader Crasher Wake starts. He leaves Gyarados, and Pikachu completely nukes him with Volt Tackle. Then Quagsire comes in next, and Turtwig destroys him with 4 times effective Razor Leaf. The Ace Floatzel comes in next and takes down Turtwig with Ice Fang. So we bring in Buizel for the anime style battle, and Buizel actually does insane damage at Floatzel and wins 1v1 with ease. That's 4 matches down, 4 to go. We're halfway there. Now we can evolve Gliscor into Gliscor, and we can evolve Turtwig into Grotto. We receive the secret medicine from Cynthia and use it to heal Psyduck from their chronic headaches. Then we arrive at Celestic Town, where of course Team Galactic is already causing problems, but Staravia takes care of them with ease. We examine the cave painting of Celestic Town, and I still think that Sinnoh has the best lore of any Pokemon region. When we step outside, we run into Chibi Syrus, who officially introduces himself. Now we can fly ourselves back to Hearthome City for our gym battle. For the battle against Fantina, Ash used Buizel, Chimchar, and Pikachu. And I hate this gym, bro. It's just mad.
It's 13 times 3. Easy, bro. 33.
Fuck! The battle against Fantina starts, and she leads with Drifblim while I lead with Pikachu. Thunderbolt one-shots Drifblim, Volt Tackle one-shots Gengar, and Volt Tackle also one-shots Miss Magius. That was an easy Pikachu sweep. That's 5 10 matches down and 3 more to go now. We surf our way through Route 218, now we can evolve Staravia into Staraptor. We arrive in Candice City, but before we can battle against Gym Leader, we head to Iron Island first. And here we meet Riley, who looks pretty awesome in Chibi form. We battle against Team Galactic alongside Riley, and after we beat them, Riley tries to give us a Pokemon egg, but we obviously can't use Lucario. We're about, what, 4 gens earlier for that? We head back to Candice City, and now we can take on the gym. For this gym battle, Ash used Chimchar, Buizel, and Gliscor. The battle against Gym Leader Byron starts, and leads to Bronzor, who Chimchar scorches with Flamethrower. Then he brings in Steelix next, and we bring in Buizel, but he gets one shot by a critical hit Earthquake from Steelix. Buizel did absolutely nothing in this battle. So we bring in Chimchar, and Flamethrower won't take Steelix down, but lives into 30. and takes Chimchar down with Earthquake. And now it's all up to Gliscor to finish out Sinnoh's Fire Fang. Byron's Ace Bastiodon comes in, and this would have been so much easier if Ash's Gliscor had any actual ground type move. I'm literally forced to spam Steel Wing and Fire Fang back to back, and that was a stalemate because neither of us doing much damage to each other. After like 40 hours, Gliscor finally takes down Bastiodon, and Gym Leader Byron is defeated. That's 6 gym badges down and 2 more to go. Right when we leave the gym, we meet up with Barry, head to the Candice Library. We meet up with Professor Rowan and Don, talking about legendary Pokemon on the lake. But then a giant explosion rumbles the entire building. We go to Lake Valley to investigate, and those jackasses Team Galactic have completely destroyed the lake. Look at the poor Magikarp, bro! So we battle against Galactic Commander Saturn, who opens with a Kadabra. Pikachu takes down Bronzor and Kadabra back to back, and then Staraptor takes down Toxicroak with Aerial Link. And with that, Commander Saturn is defeated. So we go to Lake Valley where the exact same thing is happening. We face off against Galactic Commander Mars, and Pikachu one-shots her go back and probably with Volt Tackle. Then Pikachu also takes down her Bronzor, defeating Commander Mars. Now we can head through Route 216, which is actually my favorite route of all time. I'm a massive fan of the snow and wintertime, so Route 216 and Route 17 make me feel so at home. We also find the HM for rock climbing Route 217. Then we arrive at Snow Point City. For this gym battle, Ash used Grottle, Staraptor, Gliscor, and Chimchar. Ash, what are we doing? We're bringing 3 Pokemon weak to ice? The battle against Ice Gym Leader Candice starts. She opens a Snow Wily with Grottle. So I swap right in Chimchar, Devour, and Avalanche. Then Chimchar one-shots Snow with Flamethrower. Sneasel comes in next. I go back into Grottle. Sneasel goes for a dig, which Grottle of course devours. Then Grottle's able to knock out Sneasel with 2 Razor Leaves. Then the Ice type Medicham comes in, and we bring a Scrap to get the Intimidate off, but Medicham goes for a bulk up to boost its attack and defense, which is actually pretty terrifying. Then Medicham goes for an Ice Punch and a one-shot Staraptor. We bring in Chimchar next, and Medicham's packing Rock Slide and it also one-shots Chimchar. So we go into Growlithe gets destroyed by Ice Punch, and Gliscor also gets destroyed by Ice Punch. Yeah, we just lost to the Ice type gym. And you know what? I blame Ash for bringing 3 Pokemon weak to ice to an Ice type gym, and I also blame Candice for having a non-Ice type Pokemon. The rematch against Candice starts, and this time I lead Chimchar on her Snover. Chimchar one-shots both Snover and Sneasel back to back. Then that Demon Medicham comes in. It goes for a Rock Slide, and Chimchar with the Friendship bonus lives on 1 HP with puts him in Blaze range, and a Blaze boosted Flamethrower completely nukes Medicham. But the hail damage then knocks out Chimchar, but it's already going way better than that first attempt. The Ace of Abomasnow comes in, and I bring a Raptor, misses the KO on Abomasnow, and gets one-shot by Blizzard. Then I bring in Gliscor, and Gliscor finishes Abomasnow with Fire Fang, and Candice is defeated. I can't believe that took more than 1 attempt. We go like a cutie where Barry has already been defeated by Team Galactic Commander Jupiter, and we learn they've kidnapped the Late Guardian. So we go back to Veilstone City to raid Team Galactic's headquarters. I think Team Galactic has the best HQ of all the evil teams. Then we get to evolve Chimchar into Monferno finally. It's just so hard for me to take Chibi Syrus seriously, bro. Anyway, we battle against Galactic leader Syrus. He lives at Murkrow, and Gliscor takes care of it with X-Scissor. This Diesel comes in, and Syrus sold so hard to go for Hone Claws. Gliscor destroys him with X-Scissor. His last Pokemon, Golbat, comes in. Gliscor nuked it with Stone Edge. After defeating Syrus, you go to free the Late Guardians. Remember, we got battle against Galactic Commander Saturn. Pikachu takes out Kadabra. Weasel knocks out Bronzor, and Staraptor defeats Toxicroak, defeating Galactic Commander Saturn. We free the 3 legendary Pokemon in the lake, but we aren't done with Galactic just yet. So we scale up Mount Coronet until we reach Spear Pillar. And it's here that Syrus summons legendary deity of time, Dialga. And this cutscene is so badass, team, bro. I don't care what anybody says. So I'm about to get jumped by Jupiter and Saturn when the Goat Barry comes out the cut and saves they have on site. This battle isn't very hard or anything. It's just so annoying because Barry's Moonshine does like no damage. But still, we defeat Jupiter and Mars with ease. Then Dialga's on the verge of creating an entirely new universe with Azov, Vesper, and Uxie appear, and they shatter the red chains surrounding Dialga, ending the creation of the new universe. And Chibi Syrus is super pissed, but I still can't take him seriously. The final battle against him starts where Cyrus' team with Diamond and Pearl and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is just so bad. Pikachu made super quick work of him. So we battle against Dialga, and I am not about to waste my effort getting whipped by the God of Time. So I simply throw my Master Ball and capture the Dialga. But you know, we obviously can't use this guy. And with that, we have officially finished Team Galactic arc. And with only 1 gym badge left, we can swap Gliscor for Gible, unfortunately. Then we finally get to evolve Monferno into Infernape. And we get to evolve Grottle into Torterra. Then we arrive at Sunny Shore City for our last gym battle. Against Volkner, Ash used Torterra, Pikachu, and of course Infernape. The battle against Electric Gym Leader Volkner starts, and he opens with Raichu while leading Torterra. Torterra takes a Surf and defeats Raichu with Razor Leaf. Then the other Electric type Artillery comes in next, who Torterra nukes with Leaf Storm. Then the very obvious Electric type Ambipom comes in next, and we bring in Pikachu. Pikachu dodges Ambipom's double hit, and then one-shots Ambipom with Volt Tap. The Ace Luxray comes in next, and knocks out Pikachu with Crunch. So I bring in Infernape, and just like the anime, Luxray brings the frame with the Blaze of Thunder Fang, and a Blaze with the Flamethrower takes down Luxray. With that, we defeated Luxray and earned all 8 gym badges. We surf our way through Route 220 next, and make our way through Victory Road until we reach the fated Pokemon Leaf Castle. Now it's time for our final round battle against Barry. And Pikachu would have one-shot Thrashner Raptor, but lives on 1 HP with a focus sash. But thankfully, Pikachu tanks after this close combat and takes down Thunderbolt. Snorlax comes in next, and Pikachu does huge damage to Volt Tackle, but Snorlax has so much HP that Pikachu faces the recoil damage. Then we bring in Buizel, but very swaps to Roserade. But Roserade still takes a big chunk of damage from Buizel, and Buizel actually was a battle against Roserade. Rapidash comes in and actually knocks out Buizel with Mega Horn. This Raptor defeats Rapidash, Heracross, and Snorlax with Brave Bird. Empoleon comes in. I decided to give Buizel's very first KO Drink of Meteor, and I honestly hate how Ash and Gible lost berries and Empoleon in the anime. Now that we defeated Bear, we can head to the side of the Pokemon League and take on the Elite Four. First is Bugly from Member Aaron. My original play always tried to completely destroy this guy, and Staraptor does defeat Dutch Toss with Brave Bird, but then Heracross comes in and outspeeds Raptor and knocks out with Rock Slide. So we bring in Infernape, and Infernape just starts cleaning through the bugs on Aaron's team until the only non-bug type Drapion comes in and knocks out Infernape with Earthquake. I tried to give him some screen time, and Gible actually does leave Drapion's Night Slash and go for a dig, but I forgot that Earthquake hits through dig. Gible gets obliterated by Drapion. We tried Buizel next, and Buizel did literally nothing, bro. It gets destroyed by Drapion too. So we tried Torterra, and Torterra actually stomachs Drapion's X-Scissor and picks up the KO on Drapion. That's one Elite Four down, 3 to go. Next we face the ground type Elite Four user Bertha. She leads Quagsire, I leave with Buizel, but I swap straight to Torterra and devour an Earthquake. I'm not sure how, but this Quagsire lives regularly because I off and toxic on Torterra. Quagsire heals, I try to nuke it with Leaf Storm. Whiscash comes in next, and Torterra misses the Leaf Storm like a freaking chump and gets taken out by Whiscash's Ice Beam. I try Staraptor next, and Aerial Ace does like no damage even on a critical hit, and Ice Beam almost one-shots the Raptor. So let's go for a Brave Bird, but Whiscash still hangs on, and Staraptor goes down the recoil. We bring in Buizel, knocks out Whiscash, as Bertha brings in Sudowoodo. So I try Gible again, and he almost gets freaking blown up by Sudowoodo's head smash. Gible's Drink Meteor misses the KO on Sudowoodo, and Double Edge takes down Gible. So we bring Buizel back in to revenge kill Sudowoodo. Then Buizel takes down Golem and Hippowdon all in a row, and Bertha is defeated. Up next, we take on Fire type user Elite Four Flint. He leads a Rapidash while I lead Pikachu. Pikachu barely takes a Flame Charge and one-shots Rapidash in return with Volt Tackle, but we also go down with Flame Body Burn and Volt Tackle Recoil. The very fiery Fire type Steelix comes in next, and we bring in Infernape, who scores Steelix with Flamethrower. The super burner Fire type Lopunny comes in next, who Infernape to carry with ease. Then Flim brings in another Fire type, Drifblim, who Infernape also carry with ease. Then Flim brings in his Infernape, and just like the anime, Flim's Infernape takes out my Infernape. We bring in Gible, but there's no chance against Infernape because one shot by close combat. And even our bird is taken out by first Thunder Punch. But we're able to bring in Buizel and knock out Infernape with Aqua Jet, and Elite Four Flint and his team of all fire types is defeated. Lastly, we face the final Elite Four members like type user Lucian. He starts with Mr. Mime while I leave with Pikachu, and oh my gosh, bro. I kid you not, Pikachu almost took out Lucian's entire team with just one move. Mr. Mime, Medicham, Alakazam, and Girafarig all got destroyed by Pikachu. Then Infernape finishes his final Pokemon Bronze on with Flamethrower, and Lucian is defeated. Now it's time for the final battle of the game, and we are of course against none other than that demon herself, Champion Cynthia. Infernape does good damage to Spiritomb with some Flamethrowers, but Spiritomb heals it with its berry and almost one-shots Infernape with Psychic. But now we're put in the blaze, and Flamethrower takes down Spiritomb. Gastrodon comes in next, and we swap it to Torterra and devour Gastrodon's Rock Tooth. Then Torterra completely shreds Gastrodon with Leaf Storm. Cynthia brings up Milotic next, and Milotic's Ice Beam almost one-shots Torterra, but an overcome originally still does no damage to Milotic. So I bring in Buizel, and it's not for damage. Buizel is unfortunately going to be a sacrifice that we can get free switch into Pikachu. But Pikachu's team doesn't take out Milotic, and he's on the 1 HP from Scald. So I just say screw it and rip a huge Volt Tackle to destroy against Milotic. We also use Pikachu to recoil damage. Now it's Roserade against the Raptor, and Roserade somehow one-shots the Raptor with Sludge off from full. Torterra thankfully finishes Roserade off, and Cynthia brings in Lucario next. I again try to use Gible, and Gible again does absolutely nothing as Lucario one-shots him with Dragon Pulse. Then Infernape takes out Lucario with Flamethrower, which means Cynthia has just one Pokemon left. The Demon Garchomp comes in, and I bring in Torterra as Cynthia sets up a Swords Dance. Yikes. Torterra gets off a Leaf Storm and does decent damage to Garchomp, and Garchomp finishes Torterra with Poison Jab. And now it all comes down to Infernape. Thanks to Torterra's efforts, we were able to get Garchomp in the red multiple times, and now we just need Infernape's Mach Punch to build up this KO. And by the grace of God, Infernape's Mach Punch picks up the KO on Garchomp. Garchomp goes down, and Cynthia is defeated. And with that, we have cleared Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl using Ash's full Sinnoh team. After the entire journey, I can officially say that Ash's Sinnoh team is one of the most fun teams to use to play Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl with. And you get a whole new love and appreciation for both Sinnoh and the Sinnoh team anime. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. There's way more Pokemon challenges coming. But for now, peace.